What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Connor Speed6, and today, as you can see, we are back in Forza Horizon 5, driving the amazing 2004 WRX STI. Now, what I wanted to do today is go ahead and feature this new build I have on the vehicle, as well as take a look at some of the tuning. Now, after we go through all of that, we'll be taking on an all-new, incredible rally stage built by one of my Patreon and YouTube channel members called Subi156. Now, this route is very similar to what you would see on an actual WRC stage. It goes through the dunes section of the west coast, or the western portion of the map, with some really tight and twisty sections and some technical stuff using some roads that are not actually mapped, which I love. But before we get into all that, let's dive into the build that I do have on this 2004 Subi. Now, I've actually gone through this thing and tweaked it so many times. Probably over the last couple weeks, it's taken me to actually build this to where I like it and I'm happy with sharing it. This is a pretty high-powered vehicle, and it does have a lot of ability to sort of oversteer a little bit, which is great in my opinion for a rally car, but it does not lose that lateral grip while it's sliding, so there's not spinning out or big issues like that. So what I did is I left, of course, the stock motor, because I'm not going to engine swap a 2004 Subaru, just not going to. Stock all-wheel drive drivetrain, zero aero on the front, the rear, and I didn't upgrade anything on the rear bumpers, and for the first time in a while, I didn't actually put the mud flaps, which I probably should have, but I didn't. The hood is fully stock as well. Now, before moving into the tires, the paint on this vehicle was done by one of my friends, JDM. He has done a plethora of great paints in all of the Forza Horizon games, and he has now moved on to Forza Horizon 5, and this is fantastic. It's a Valentino Rossi tribute livery on the 04 STI. It's amazing. As you can see here, I did put on the off-road race tires. They're very grippy, very good off-road. I did not widen the front tires all the way. I did widen just a little bit, just to sort of fill a PI gap. The rear tires are all the way to 275s, and I did install some OZ aftermarket OZ wheels. I did have these in gold because I just had a blue paint, but they are very good wheels. They're lightweight, and they kind of help to fill a little bit of a PI gap as well and shed some weight. All the way wide on the front track width and the rear track width as well. As for the drivetrain, I do have the race clutch installed on the vehicle, as well as a race transmission. I didn't decide to go to a 7 or 8 speed transmission. I just didn't feel like that was necessary in this car. I did not do anything to the driveline, but I did, of course, install the rally diff on the vehicle. Brakes are upgraded to race brakes, rally springs installed, front and rear anti-roll bars installed, of course. A little bit of chassis reinforcement, so I did the first upgrade. That was probably just to add a little bit of weight to lower some PI for me, and I did not do any type of weight reduction on the vehicle. Engine upgrades, we've got a race intake installed, the race fuel system installed, the race ignition, the race exhaust, the race cams and valves, the race valves. I did upgrade it to a race engine block. That sheds a lot of weight on the vehicle as well. I've got the race pistons and compression, and of course the single upgraded turbo to a race turbo. The intercooler fully maxed out. That's a good way to gain power, but not use a lot of PI because it actually adds weight to the vehicle as well. But the power to weight, sort of difference, it benefits installing that. Flywheel, of course, stock, no reason to install that. But that's basically the build. Let's look at the tuning that I do have on the vehicle. So the tires, off-road tires, I set them to 21 in the front, 22 in the rear. This is my gearing for the vehicle. I toyed around with this a lot, and I really wasn't able to get a much faster 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 time. The car handles really well. First gear is really short, but it gets you off the line quickly. Second gear, of course, pulls you up to 60 miles per hour. Third gear, just over 90. And then fourth, fifth, sixth are all really good. Sort of short, so you can get in and out of corners quickly. Alignment, I do have the front set to -2.4 and the rear to -2.3. 0.1 out on the front toe, nothing on the rear toe, and then the front caster set to 6. Anti-roll bars, front anti-roll bars set to 10. That way we can get a nice amount of body roll over the outside wheel into a corner to put the grip down. Otherwise, you're just gonna slide. Rear anti-roll bars, 34, so kind of just past the middle going more towards the stiff side. That actually helps understeer. It helps keep the car from understeering by having the back end a little bit tighter to help it kind of slide and rotate around the corner easier. Springs almost all the way soft, of course. Ride height, I did lower a little bit. 7.5 in the front, 7.7 in the rear. The rear needs a little bit more travel because the car's sort of squatted just a little bit stock. Damping is something you're gonna have to toy around with a lot. You sort of want where I am, kind of just left of center for the front and rear rebound stiffness. And then the rear bump, you want those at about 60%, 65% of what the rebound numbers are. The reason being you want them a little bit stiffer because you need to make sure your tires are being pressed onto the ground, but too much stiffness will make it bouncy. So sort of find that balance there. No aero again installed on the vehicle. The brakes I left at 50-50 because I tried to adjust it 5 to the front, 5 to the rear, and I kept getting lock up on the front or the rear. Braking pressure I have to 135. Anything higher on this car because it's so light actually makes you lock up a little bit. I don't use ABS, so that's why the locking up issue. Now the diff, the front acceleration diff I have set to 0, deceleration on the front I have set to 10%. That actually helps tune out the understeer on these all-wheel drive vehicles. The rear acceleration I have set to 30%, and then the deceleration I have set to 10%. You could probably get away with setting the rear decel up to about 20, and that would sort of help the car kind of rotate into a corner, but I would not go more than 20%. My diff balance has the all-wheel drive mainly set to rear. It's a 70-30 split. So that's it for that tune. It is available for download right now, so if you would like to download it, my gamer tag is ConnorSpeed6. Connor is spelled with an E, of course. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you do decide to download it. Typically, the easiest way to search an event built in the root creator or blueprint creator is to go to the Creative Hub and select Event Lab. From there, click on Event Blueprints, and then if it's something you've already driven, it will show up in your history unless it's something you drove a long time ago and you've done multiple different events after that. I did run this event the other day. It's called the Baja California Stage, built by Subi156. This share code will be in the description down below and on screen, so if you'd like to run it, be sure to do so. If you do run it, please leave a like for him. That way it actually gets some higher ratings and gets some more plays. So his description states it's a semi-enduro rally stage with dirt, sand, and yes, it does have asphalt. It will test your skills of being a rally driver. I can definitely confirm that is true because there are some extremely difficult parts of this map to actually get right. This is a no drivatar event, so you will be running it on your own just as you would a real rally stage. Trust me, you do not miss the drivatars on this event. It's fantastic. I am going to keep the braking line on for this video because recording while racing and talking to the camera, there's a lot of times I can lose focus. So keeping the braking line on at least will help me remember sort of where the braking zones are. All right, let's jump in here, see how we do. Such a cool paint too. Absolutely love GT IMPATIENTPIE's designs. He actually built a Hoonigan Focus RS/RX for me, or painted one rather, I should say, back in Horizon 3. And it is just one of my favorite paints ever done in game. All right, here's where that super tight little chicane is. I don't really want to call it a chicane, but it feels like it a little bit. Very tight, very twisty through here. You don't want to go wrong because you will smash a house, of course, or take out a boojum tree. Nice little uphill section. It sort of feels like almost a hill climb, or like, I'm not even really sure, sort of like a overland type trail here, but makes great use of the elevation change. And then we're going to go straight into a hairpin. I'm going to put it, whoops, into the wrong gear. That was my fault. That's going to cost me a couple seconds. And then we've got, of course, these super tight and twisty sections going down the volcano at the very bottom. Some of the most technically difficult roads on this sort of volcano pass trail is what I call it. The Caldera Pass. Nah, Subi did an amazing job. This is just, of course, the beginning of the route. It gets pretty interesting here in a little bit with a little bit of kind of a stadium section with a nice hairpin on a road that's not mapped. It's sort of a trail. Awesome creativity. I love to see it. I've been building routes on roads that are not mapped by the developers since Horizon 3, and I will continue to do that and continue to love and praise those that do it. Oh god, a little bit squirrely there. That was ugly, but hey, it's okay. All right, so we're gonna dive off of this little dirt road onto some tarmac. We're gonna go full send apparently in the STI. Let's not smash into a wall, that'd be great. So we got a little bit of a tarmac section here, sort of a breather if you will, before we dive into a really tight little off-road bit too with some rocks lining either side. I always like to try to go through it without hitting the rocks, but it doesn't usually happen that well. All right, so right here coming up to this grandstand area, diving off. Don't want to go too wide there because of that little wall I almost hit. As I say, don't want to go too wide, I go too wide. But these little rocks right here, I try to drive through here without hitting them, but as you see, I just took a bunch of them out. Oh, and more out. Yep, there we go. Not going well for Connor Speed 6 here. All right, and then we're diving back onto a bigger road here, going up through the dunes section of the map, which I love. It is a full-on vibe. Everyone was saying when they saw like previews that it looked like the Horizon 3 map. This is far and away better than the Horizon 3 map in this part. Tons of elevation change, many different roads that are technically difficult and more challenging, of course. All right, so now we're going to dive back down in elevation. Good use again of elevation changes and connecting roads on this route, but this car is actually handling it pretty well. I again am just making my way through it without wrecking. Very fun corner right here. Drop down into second, get the back end rotating, power down. This is a mapped road, but it doesn't feel like one. We will be jumping off of this mapped road here in just a minute, I believe. God, again, elevation change, jumps right into corners. It's awesome. It's just an amazing route. First time I ran it, I messaged him on Discord, or I put it in the custom routes section, like holy crap, this is amazing, dude, you killed it. All right, so now we're diving off onto a little trail that's not mapped, and we're going back into a tiny little stadium section into a insanely tight hairpin. As you can see, we're gonna drop it down into first. Oh, I barely got it. Let's go. And then I always try to drive through here without hitting the trees or the cacti. I always like to stick to the road. It's more fun that way. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Stick to the road, they say. Yeah, good job, Connor. No, but again, this tune, it's really good. It's taken me a while to actually get it dialed. The tuning in Forza Horizon 5 is much more involved than it has been in previous Horizon games, and I like it. At first, I was kind of annoyed because I couldn't figure it out, but I did get it figured out, and I do need to make some amendments to that Horizon, or the Rally tuning guide that I released, because there are some updates and changes that I realize now after releasing that video that I could do better. And it would help you guys a lot. For those who don't really know how to tune yet, or who are still struggling to figure it out, that's something I need to actually do, is make an amendment. Love that little chicane section there. Again, taking a little liberty there and diving off of the mapped road and taking a teeny tiny little side road that most people would probably just overlook and not even really pay attention to it being there. Hard 90 right, uphill, off camber over that crest as well. Very difficult corner to stay on the road on. We're nearing the end of the race. We're about at 90% here. Off camber downhill. It's just awesome. The roads, I mean, I hate to say this, but the roads on this map that the developers have given us sort of makes it easy for route builders and things like that, because they've just given us pretty much everything we need to build a good route. And Subi156 absolutely nailed it. And I appreciate him for being not only an amazing route builder here and a racer, but also a Patreon and YouTube channel member. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you very much. Coming to the end, the little 2004 Subaru WRX STI has done it in 6 minutes and 32 seconds. I actually ran a 6 minute 24 second time last night, so that was way slower. Let me know down in the comments what your time is on this stage if you decide to run it. Can you beat a 6 minute 25 second run in A class? Let me know. All right, y'all, so there you have it. That was Subi156's all new custom route. Again, the share code for that's going to be down in the description, and it's been on screen, of course. Big thank you again to him for just putting together an amazing race. This was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. GTA IMPATIENTPIE's 2004 Subaru paint is available for download now, and his information's down in the description as well. Again, if you'd like to use my tune, download it, leave me some feedback, and I hope you get some really good wins with this thing. It's pretty rapid, pretty grippy, and I think you guys are gonna love it. That's gonna do it for me today. I really appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoyed yourselves here. If you did, please leave a like for me, leave a positive comment down in the comments section below, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more weekly Forza Horizon 5 content like this. Until next time, I've been Connor Speed 6. Much love, everyone. See you soon.